Hey, what is up? Just gonna be reviewing some VODs today. I know I said I was gonna rotate between Ace and Emu, but honestly, I feel like Emu just feels like um, it feels better for me to play. I don't know, something about Ace I just can't quite figure it out, even though it's like the quote unquote easier deck. Also, in regards to PRP format, unfortunately, I ended up scrubbing out of my regionals I attended. It was just not my day, and I was like getting trigger sacked a shit ton, and I just wasn't playing very well either. But which is a little unfortunate and a little frustrating that like I put in so much work last format and it didn't really amount to anything. But yeah, I guess we just move on and try to do better this format. So going into the card by card real quick, I don't quite remember who I stole this list from, but this is essentially a standard emu list with the Stussies cut out and then one GARP event, which if you have 10 or more in trash, you gain, or like you gain 1k counter, and then if you have 10 or more in trash, you can add a 3 cost or less card to your hand. So you can like grab a 2k or something. So it's a bit flexible in that regard. And then I believe the only other thing was that there's like 2 of these chump blockers. And then I believe that's it. So I'm either using this list in the games I'm going forward, or I'm on this list by Newbie, which is pretty much the same. No Stussy list except they're playing 1VV. But yeah, let's just jump into the games. So the first game is a mirror. This is still like pretty early in the season, so I haven't climbed too far yet. I think this is around like top 1,000 ish or so. Um, hopefully I'll be able to climb relatively quickly like I did with GP, but just like due to the unfamiliarity of the deck, it might take a little bit of time. So, anyways, jumping into the game, we lose dice roll and they choose to go first, which I thought was odd because I assumed even in the mirror that we want to take second. Um, Obviously, we start with the 1 cost stage because if you start with the 7 cost stage, you can just blow it up, which I've accidentally used that before during the EMA matchup. So I look at my hand and it's not particularly good because like the rad beam events are kind of dead in the mirrors. It's like once you get to your 10 cost, you can't really have any dawn floating. But we do have the 1 cost searcher, which is really nice to fill up our trash. One way you lose is if you don't have enough trash, and then they can just like Marcus Mars your guy on curve. So probably elect to keep. And I rip another searcher, which is great for us. Here, I think we don't need a second 10 cost right now, so I think taking the blocker is fine. But I end up grabbing the 10 cost and I ditch a rad beam. Play the other Sharia. I grab a Mars just in case they can't fill trash. Ditch the Peter. We don't need it this early, but maybe I should have ditched a 10 cost because it's not really doing much for me early. They do play the Searcher, which means they're seeing what they need to see. Luckily, we rip our own. And then here, I think we're just missing the Nusteros and maybe a Wargeary, but I think since we have another Searcher, we can just take the Nustero for now. And then I should do a better job of rearranging my stack, but it is what it is. Then I swing 5. I was like debating on starving there, but they have another blocker on field that they can use to protect their guys, so I thought it didn't really make sense and I should just start hitting immediately. I don't even know if starving in the first place is worth it, but our opponent does swing their guy. And then I believe makes a pretty fatal misplay by doing Mars affecting and pitching a card, but we are KO immune. So since our Mars is active because they don't have 7 in trash, we can direct these swings to face instead. Now we pitch the 1 cost event and then we leave 1 up for the rad beam event, so we can save this body, and then next if he turns the Mars sideways we can beat into it 3 times potentially. Plays the Searcher. grabs the event, plays the event, grabs a rad beam, plays the rusher, and I'm trying to save this as much as I can, but here I block and 1k because I really want him to turn this sideways, but then again, it might not really make sense to. Actually, we probably want both of these turned sideways because we have a Nustro, so we can potentially clear out both. Um, we decides not to turn this Mar sideways, so I kind of got baited there, maybe knowing that I would try to beat into it that way. But now our opponent has very few cards in hand, so we can start beating into this Nestro and ask for a ton of cards. If he somehow ends up saving it from the 3 swings we have, we also have the Rusher that we can play down here as well. But since our opponent ends up letting it go, we can just play this War Curie, cycle the stage out, and pass. Mars swings 5 at life, in which I end up blocking just to draw the card, but honestly don't know if that was worth it. I might as well have just 1k countered out because now one of these bodies is probably going to get cleared by actually never mind, they can't 10 cost because they're on 9 right now. I ditched the rad beam because I won't be able to use it when I start chaining 10 costs. But now we can beat into our opponent, and then I can leader ability, let one of these guys go, play the 10 cost, activate, and then I absolutely throw here by like I pitched the event because I was like, oh, this is a brick, but I totally forgot I don't have a Nestro engrave. So now I'm only able to bring 4 out, grab another 10 cost there, but this actually made the game so much harder just off of that one mistake. Now they're able to swing this 12. Opponent takes some time to think for some reason. Brings out all the guys. Draws a War Curie. Pitches the War Curie. I guess he's looking for a counter. Swings the 7. Try 2k, 1k. I'm just trying to have as many attackers as possible for next turn. He plays a War Curie. Swings 8. And then now now he has 3 blockers and 3 Dawn up. And I do not believe our opponent has showed me any counter events, so we're in quite a bad position here. He blocks the first 7, counters out of the next one, and I think, honestly, I should have not swung this. I think, because I only have 1 Nostro here, so if he's able to counter out of this swing here, then now I don't have an avenue to kill most likely. Blocks this last War Curie, I can release the Mars. Luckily I rip the blocker off the top. And then I play both blockers. I think for a bit. I just end up swinging 5. Because either way you can block or use the counter event. Which, honestly, in that case, if I'm playing for one more turn, I think I should have sent the 5 at the Nostro here. Because there's a chance that he has the other event, the 3k one that you can't use on characters. And then it forces him to have the event, which I mean, unfortunately he does, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways. But it just narrows like the possibility down a little bit more. Um, Next, I'm just trying to dig for more counter. I get a 3k event off of the first search. I pitched the 10 elders because it's not going to be used anymore. And then now I have 2 blockers, 2 events, um, and 4k counter total. So I think literally it just comes down to what I draw off of these Warcuries and how our opponent swings. Opponent swings a 7, which we can 3k counter out. Swings another 7. We have enough for the 2 and the 1. Swings 8, which we have the rad beam for. And then his best number is 8-8 here, which we have the 2 blockers, so and then our opponent ends up conceding. I don't know if those were like, if our opponent starts with a 9 at life. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if there's really any better numbers they could have swung. Go. Like, maybe 8 would have been a little annoying. Because 8, I have to. Like, if he goes 8, a 1-1, or 3-1, another 8, I rad beam, another 8, I block. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then you can play Nostro for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I guess the split's not that great. You just split evenly here, I suppose. But so what was this? 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8. Oh yeah, okay. So then yeah, splitting even makes the most sense. So, I think our opponent swung fine there, but we luckily were able to get out of it. But definitely that one turn, I just trolled not pitching the Nostro here, because I think what would have happened was we're in this position. Our opponent's forced to give me another 2 cards, and they have to be a 2k, 1k. They're down to 4 cards in hand. And it just makes it so much harder for them to like live, I think, the following turn. But yeah, just goes to show how fragile this deck can be if you mess up one time. And our opponent misplayed huge with that Mars turn as well, which honestly might have cost them the game in a way too. So moving on to our second game against Roger. We win dice roll and choose to go second. Our hand has 2 Warcuries, 2 Peters, and a Mars, but going second, I guess this is okay, because we can just Warcury into Mars, and in the meantime we can search, but I'm not quite sure if I really like this hand. I think I would mulligan it, to be honest, just because it gives us nothing to do for the first couple turns, or the first turn, sorry, but, and then we really want to see Saturn over Warcury, but, I'm not quite sure. I'm not even sure if they have anything that we want to pop that's a 5 cost, to be honest, but we do end up mulling. We start with the event searcher. I think just grabbing... I think I end up grabbing the Mars because I wasn't sure if there's anything to pop. I probably have to look at a Roger deck list sometime to make sure. And I pitch the stage because it's useless. I assume this is a matchup where we have to we want to stay super healthy because the 10 cost Roger exists. Plays the Shanks to search, which means he missed the buggy ramp. I still don't know too much about what Shanks does, so he swings 7. We do have the event for that. They usually take the first 5, I believe, and then we can just we rip the Saturn off the top so we can grab it. And I think we're just looking for a missing piece now. Um, so either the Nostro or the Peter here is fine. Since we're going into the 6th Dawn turn, maybe the Nostro is a little better, but we already have one, so I think Peter here is fine. And pass. Not sure if it was. It probably wasn't necessary for us to leave this Dawn up. We should have swung 6, but they took it anyways. But just in case they countered, swing 8. We take that first one. It's not a big deal. Um, swing 5. They're going into our 8 Dawn turn. I do know that they run like a rush, the rush rally for 9, so that's not coming down next turn, so we can play this Warcury, but I'm thinking maybe the Nostro here was better instead. Like, we can't really minus anything, but it gets another like 5k chip swing in. We're probably going to defend whether it goes to life or the board here anyways, unless they jam like really big into something. So I think it would have been fine either way. And then I pitch a 2k, but I should have pitched this event counter because I don't have 10 in trash, and I didn't know about the condition until after I played this game. So I remember this game. I make 2 pretty big blunders here. So he swings a 6, 2k out, which is fine. So yeah, if we had the Nostro out, we could have swung like another couple times this turn. And then here we can play the Warcury alongside the Jupiter. This does get punished by the Rayleigh, but you know, it is what it is if that happens. So the Rayleigh does come down. And then here I absolutely troll and I use the event not knowing that I can't grab a 2k. And then I troll again, throwing away the blocker thinking it was a 2k, and then I take the damage anyway, so I just go -2 for no reason. And then our opponent luckily swings into the Saturn for some reason. And then swings 9. And now we're in sort of a tricky situation. We swing 7 into their leader, which I think is a mistake. Because he ends up taking a 0, and then I totally forgot the 10 cost Roger is a card. And we lose to 10 cost Roger. And then after swinging this last 9, I remember that fact, and then I just decide to go 15. And he has the rad beam and just enough counter. He had 2k extra counter to get out of that, so it wouldn't have gotten there, but I think we can replay this. I think here, I think this first 7 is fine, but I think this should have gone at the Gabon instead, because we go 777 here, which demands 3 cards total if he wants to save it, and then also we'll have a Nostro coming down the following the same turn because of the 10 cost. So this is almost guaranteed to die unless they dump their entire hand. If they let this go on the 7 swing, then we can swing 1/7 at leader, and then dawn this up to 9 and swing at the Rayleigh once. Then we play the 10 cost out, and then we can swing another 7 into this, minusing this down to 7, or with whatever leftover dawn we have. So let's say we swung once into this thing with 9, then 4. We have 4 dawn left over. We can swing like 9/7 into this again. Probably gives us the rad beam at that point. And then we have our 2 blockers, and they only have 1 unit on board. So at that point, like, we die to like, or we don't die, but the game gets pretty rough if they start playing like the 10 cost shanks, but we have a better chance of killing in that situation, I believe. And our opponent did not have it. They only had the Rayleigh as well as a Roger. Um, if they. In which there's a chance that if I don't float any Dawn, which I might have to, like if I play the 10 cost here and the Rayleigh survives, next turn they can go 899 and then 899, except the Warcury probably gets rested down. I can block one of the 9s uh with Mercury or Mars, whatever, and then uh, after that, we just have to bank on Saturn finding me a counter event and floating counter event Dawn, or having a 2K and we don't die to the Rayleigh. So this game was actually super winnable. Our opponent didn't really see that great, and we won dice roll, but just because I blundered and didn't play around Roger here on accident, I got punished. So yeah, still a lot to learn with this deck, but it's been decently fun, I suppose. But yeah, that's it for today. See ya.